your energy levels up. You start to get that adrenaline rush before you're going in. This is something I haven't felt like before, and it's a pretty like cloud nine moment going in.
Minnesota product to train through the KCFC and hammer fists. Eli Mefford trying to stave it off, and the first round finish for Michael Blockhus.
Name's Michael Blockhus. I'm 24 years old from Cresco, Iowa. Being in a small town from Iowa, I kind of had a lot of energy when I was a little kid. So my mom decided, hey, let's humble this kid and throw him in wrestling. So I went into a wrestling practice when I was 6 years old, and being from Iowa, wrestling's super rich in the state. And then I ended up being kind of good at it, and I placed at state my first couple years, and then from there, now we're here. As you get into the junior high school stage, you really got to decide like what do I want to do with this sport. So once I hit high school, I dropped every other sport and I just strictly focused on wrestling. I think my passion and intensity comes from my parents, especially from my mom. I think she's just been a hard-nosed worker since she was young. She had me very early, and we didn't really have much growing up, and they worked their asses off to get to where they're at in life, and made our lives pretty easy, me and my sister. And since then, I've just kind of looked up to them a lot, their work ethic, their motivation to do things. But not only that, anything comes in the way of them and their kids, they'll throw down no matter what. And yeah, I think that intensity especially comes from my mom. You see her at wrestling meets or anything, she's the loudest one in the stands and kind of the only one I can hear. And when you hear her voice, you know it's time to pick up your pace or start to wrestle a little better. Otherwise, mom's gonna kind of beat you up, I guess. So I started off, I went to Northern Iowa, which being an Iowa boy, you're a hometown kid, right? And you got a lot of love for going to the hometown program. So I chose Northern Iowa and I really liked it. My first couple years there, I actually qualified for the national tournament in 2019 as a freshman. And a lot of the guys I was surrounded with, we had a good crew going in. And then that tournament gets canceled, right? And going in when everything, you're kind of in your house during the COVID era, and you really start to think a lot like, how can I grow as a wrestler, as a person, and do I want something different, right? So I decided to hit the transfer portal, and my recruiting opened up back up, and when you get a second chance at the recruiting process, you can kind of read through a lot of BS that college coaches will give you. From now, I'm like trying to pick the program that's going to best fit me. I got the best partners, the best staff, everything around, and Minnesota was the choice for me. Everything around there, the resources, the people, they set you up for jobs after college, and yeah, going there and meeting the guys and getting the chance to put myself around them really made my decision where I was like, yeah, these are the guys I want to be surrounded by. They all want to win national titles. They're good people. They're not the kids when you're hanging out with them, and no one's got an ego. So yeah, that's why I picked Minnesota. Yeah, my college career has just been on an uphill slope since I started at Minnesota, and that's a real big reason why I chose there, because I knew I could grow. Going off on that Big Ten Finals All-American years, then I had to make a decision like what I wanted to do next, right? And from there, I had to really think like, do I want to get into MMA, or I still have another year of eligibility, right? But I was ready to move on, and after that national tournament, a few weeks later, I moved down to Florida. The transition process from wrestling to MMA was fairly, I wouldn't want to say easy, but it was difficult at the same time, right? But wrestlers are able to transition easier because of their background. Wrestling is one of the main cores for an MMA sport. And then the mentality side of things, I think we have the strongest mentality than any other sport out there in the world. It's a grind day in, day out, in a college wrestling season especially. And going into that with MMA made it a lot easier. Having the right people around you. I had Logan Storley, Mitch McKee, Robbie Waller, a lot of these guys that wrestled and did transition over, and they know what it takes, and it kind of made my process a lot more smooth. Obviously the kickboxing and that stuff takes a lot to get used to, and you're gonna limp around for a few weeks and then eventually you get used to it. When picking an MMA gym, I was a lot like picking a college wrestling team, right? Like you want to surround yourself with the right, genuine people, and I think KCFC had those types of family atmosphere people. All their coaches are looking out for their guys, not just in the MMA and also in life. Like they'll take care of you, they'll help you. give you guidance, and even the people around here, you see it, it's a brotherhood, that everyone's looking out for each other, and they feel it when their boys are out in the cage. And yeah, that's what I wanted to be a part of, something like a family atmosphere, and that's why I chose here. Yeah, I mean, being a young buck coming to Killcliff FC, you're in a room full of killers, right? And not only killers, I get to work with some of the best athletes to ever do it, especially, I mean, Robbie Lawler is a legend of the sport, and I get to pick his brain, work out. He puts me through circuits with alum Gophers, which is even more special. Logan Storley, Mitch McKee, who moved down here. They did the transition, and then I get to come down here, and I'm kind of the young buck, the rookie, where they kind of help me along throughout this transition, and it makes things go a lot quicker, where I'm able to progress much faster than a lot of other athletes that are making the MMA transition. And I'm lucky. It's a blessing to be able to work with every single person in this gym, because they're all knowledgeable in their own way. My relationship with Logan Storley and Mitch McKee, I would say they're like brothers that I felt like I've known since the day I was born. We do everything with each other. We'll go golf, we'll hang out, have an Easter dinner. It's just like, it's family here to me. Family's never really been blood to me since the day I was born. And they're my family now. I'll do anything for them, and I know that they will do anything for me. And the bond we have just pushes us in life and in the sport to help each other grow. Moving down here, getting to live with Logan has kind of only made our bond greater, right? Like, I got to move down with Storley, and not only that, I get to debut on a card that he's the main event for. He's been doing this entire life, and I'm kind of like this little brother that's getting brought along, and we get to fight on the same card as each other, which is pretty special, especially the bond we have. And there's even a video out where I'm fighting, and Logan's like just got done capping off a big win, but he's locked in on the TV. He's like, this is one of the biggest things that hit my heart, where I knew, like, this is my big brother, he'll do anything. He's watching my fight, I get the job done, and you see the excitement in him, and that just shows, like, the bond we have created. And not having any amateur fights, I think outsiders were a little skeptical, like, does this kid have what it takes? Has he been striking? What's it gonna look like when he gets in there? Is he gonna be a little behind on things? Luckily, I started off just working the basics with a guy in his basement, and I got to get a little bit ahead where not a lot of people knew that. So going into this fight, I had all the confidence in the world being in a gym like this in Killcliff FC down in Florida, because of the people I'm surrounded by and the gains I made an entire summer, where I knew I was more than ready to go into there. I don't think I needed an amateur fight. I've been wrestling at the highest level in front of thousands of people against the best people in the world. So this was kind of nothing to me. Like, I was going in there, I was comfortable. So yeah, I mean, everything I've done leading up to that moment has helped me confidence-wise, mentality-wise, to go in there, relax, calm, cool, collective, and just go get the job done. My Bellator debut, I got to fight alongside 6 other Killcliff athletes, and not only that, I had a lot of family there. It was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I live in Iowa, which is just right across the border. So I had 100 plus people there for me. My mom got to be pretty much ringside. My dad was ringside, and obviously their son going into a fight, their first fight, they don't know what to expect. Wrestling's never been kind of as scary, right? Because you get to go out there and try to beat the other person up, and having that debut, winning that fight in the way I did, kind of made things special, where it got loud in there. I was after the main event, and I think a lot of people were getting tired, and luckily Logan Storley, being the hometown kid, told everyone to get back in their seats and wait, so I got to fight in a sold-out arena, which was pretty cool. I think I'm going to be successful in MMA because of my mentality and the people I'm surrounded with. I truly believe that I can dominate anyone that I step in a cage against, even at the highest level, because I trust in the coaching staff here. I have the right people to look up to, and I'm young yet. Like, I'm young, hungry, ready to take this sport head on, and go out there and do whatever it takes to get the job done. What's next for Michael Blockhus? I'm fighting an LFA 182 with another buddy of mine, another Minnesota gopher, Mitchell McKee. My second fight of my life. I get to be a part of a card with 3-4 other athletes from Kill Cliff, just like my debut. I'm fighting alongside my brothers, going in head on, and we're going to dominate in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.